Benjamin Osei is my guest, and we'll be meeting his wife and his children in a few moments. But as I was saying off the top, a lot of you know him because he's been on before. I haven't met him before, so this is the first time, Benjamin. Welcome.
Yeah.
A pleasure to meet you. A former Ghanaian, now a Canadian, I understand?
Yeah.
Well, terrific. We're very proud of that. And so I'm meeting you for the first time, and I think a lot of our viewers are too, and you've got a fascinating story. Now, you're working with Youth Unlimited in the Jane Finch corridor, is that
That's
correct?
Right, yeah.
With a ministry called?
Jane and Finch Outreach.
Jane and Finch Outreach. All right, now we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But my question is, how is a Ghanaian now working as a Canadian in Jane and Finch with troubled youth, with Youth Unlimited? How did this all come about?
I think it all started when I took residence in the area in the year 1999. And I just walked in the community and I got accepted by everyone. I first started connecting with the youth and they introduced me to their parents. And nobody restrained me from getting involved with them. So this all happened while my family was back in Africa. For almost 5 years, I was going through this immigration stuff, and I got deported in the end. But it all came about when I joined Youth Unlimited. I became a staff member with Youth Unlimited, Toronto Youth for Christ. For a year, I was raising support and everything was fine. I stopped the factory work. I concentrated on the ministry full time. That was the time I really got connected with the entire community and they came to love what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Let's get back here. Go back a bit here. I mean, first of all, taking 5 years going through, as you say, that immigration stuff.
Yes.
I mean, only new immigrants can really appreciate what you're talking about there. That's a whole another story. But why did you leave Ghana? And how tough was it for you to leave when you have your family back there?
Yeah. First, I left Ghana to Sierra Leone. Yeah. In Sierra Leone, there was a civil war. I had to come back to Ghana. Right. So when I came to Ghana, I got a scholarship to Acadia University, the Divinity College in Woolford, Nova Scotia. I completed in '99. Then I thought my ministry was in Ghana, Africa. So I went back with the intention of establishing a skill training center for the displaced people, especially those from Sierra Leone. But it didn't happen, and my life was at stake. I had to leave abruptly to come back to Canada. But my ticket could only get me to Toronto. So when I got to Toronto, I called Nova Scotia, and they told me I should stay here, and they were going to look for a place for me to settle. So I stayed with Matthew House, the Baptist refugee center at Dundas Street. So it was from there that I got a single room accommodation in Jane and Finch. So when I got to Jane and Finch, I didn't know anything about the community before. But when I got there, I realized all these youth floating around and doing practically nothing. And people were telling me it's a bad area, I should get out of there. But when I started reaching out, I realized that they were young people who needed help. And most of them don't have their daddies at home. And I became their uncle. And I started having basketball programs, homework clubs for them. And it started, I would say it was a natural occurrence of ministry. Then I was looking for some organization that does the same thing, that I can be part of their staff, and Pastor Mayor Finley introduced me to Youth Unlimited, Toronto Youth for Christ. And
so you took the initiative. You started this youth ministry on your own.
Yes, on my own initiative.
And how did you keep body and soul together during that time? Did you have a job or did you have support?
I was working in the factory.
You were working in the factory?
I was working in the factory during the day. Then in the evening after school, I would just come and invest my time with the youth.
Now, had you done youth ministry in Africa?
Not really.
No.
When I went to the Divinity College, I actually did pastoral ministry, but here I found myself in a situation where I had to reach out to the young people. Now, at
Acadia Divinity School, is that a master's degree?
Yeah, Master of Divinity.
Master of Divinity. Yeah. Now, you mentioned earlier that after 5 years of trying to get through the immigration processes, you were actually deported.
I was November 26 this year, making six years.
So why did they deport you?
They deported me because they thought they didn't buy my story. They said it wasn't credible. I applied for humanitarian and they rejected that because a person who has done the Master of Divinity is supposed to do what I was doing anyway. So in the end, they told me to go back to Africa, apply and come back. And the government, they cooperated on that level. Yeah.
So when did your family join you finally?
That was, I'm saying, the 26th of November this year, making 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
So 5 years without your family.
Yes, I was here, but because I was so immersed with the youth and the families around, yeah, I didn't feel that I was so much alone, but they felt it that much because the families I was helping here were still trying to retain me while they get them here.
I want to meet your family in a few minutes, but before we bring them in, tell me about ministry with Youth Unlimited in the Jane and Finch corridor. You've had a lot of experience now. If you were to assess or analyze, say, the top 2 or 3 common denominators, issues facing young men and young women in that area, what would they be?
I think the most common thing I would say is that people don't take the youth in that area seriously. Like, because of where they are coming from, there is what I call it geographic stereotype. They come from Jane and Finch, they are young, they are marginalized, and people, they have a lot to offer. And not until people start believing that they have a lot to offer, they will still not have that sort of self-confidence in themselves.
Now, you say geographical stereotype. I've never heard that term used before, but it captures something. This, as compared to a racial stereotype?
Yeah, the Jane and Finch.
It's a geographical stereotype. Would, what percentage of these young people you work with would be fatherless?
I would say over 90%.
Over 90%.
Yeah.
Where are the men?
The men, that is the issue. The men are there. The men are there, but in some situations, they don't want to. There are some families I'm dealing with. I talked to the father. I said, I cannot be, you are there. The child came to the program, 1 o'clock in the morning. He wasn't still home. The mom called me. When the child came to the program the following week, I asked him, where did you go? He said, I was with my dad. So I told the mom that your son went to the dad. Then she gave me the dad's number to call, and the dad said he wasn't with me. So I said, there is some kind of father hunger here. So if he's lying to me that he was with the dad, well, in actual fact, he wasn't with him, then you should let him go and stay with the dad. I was trying to bridge this gap, and the dad said no. When they were young, the mother didn't want me to have anything to do with them. Now that they are old and they are giving her trouble, this is the time that she wants the children to come to me. Then I said, okay, I have my own children. I cannot deal with it. I cannot deal with it, but he's still your son. You've married another woman, you're raising other children, but let him come home. So,
father hunger, there's another term I haven't heard before. There's a lot of father hunger out there. It sounds like a title of a book. Maybe you need to write a book about this. So do you find yourself, you mentioned when you started out, you were the kid's uncle. Is that still the case? They still see you as a kind of a family member?
Yeah, that is still, they still call me Uncle Ben.
They do. Do you ever have moments when you despair, when you say, this is hopeless?
Yeah, there have been that up and down times, but yeah, there was a time when I was in the program and all of a sudden a fight broke out, and I thought they respect me, so I'm just going to talk to them. And the slap that wasn't meant for me went boom in my face. Yeah, he hit me so bad. And I asked myself, what is all this going on? So after he hit me, he went and sat on the table and bowed his head. I went to him and asked him, have you achieved your aim tonight? So the following week, he came to the program and apologized. And that student he's at the University of Windsor as I'm talking.
Really? Yeah. Boy, that's got to be fulfilling for you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the program. Describe the program. What is it you do with these kids?
The kids, I have different programs. The Hoop to Hope is a basketball program. I know that's how...
Hoop to Hope?
Hoop to Hope. They hoop with the hope that they will do something better in their life.
Right.
Yeah, so when they come and they are doing their hoops, I take 30 minutes and it's a teaching time. Then after that, they continue their hoops. So that attracts them. Everyone in Jane and Finch wants to play basketball. So I use that to get them. There's over 80 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Then I talk to them. So I have the younger age group, age 8 to 14, then age 15 to 20. And then there's a soccer program too, that they come and it's the same, using soccer for those who don't like basketball so that I can talk to them. Then in the summer, we have a day camp, over 60 children.
Wow.
For 8 weeks, 9 to 4, Monday to Friday. Then in the 1 week, we go to Camp Kwasen and we stay there for 5 days. So it's like complete family. Then I have this youth discussion group called Straight Talk. Yeah, it's in the partnership with Across Boundaries, another organization in Jane and Finch. And that's where they come and we sit in couches forum like that. It's like a talk show. They come with issues that concern them. They talk and I listen. Yeah. If there's the need for me to give advice, I do. But if I think it's a little bit clinical, then I'll refer them to people who have the expertise to help them. But in the end, that group was big. Half of them are in colleges and universities as I'm talking. So instead of them going into gangs and dropping out, they are now all overwhelming number. That makes me happy.
Well, which tells me and any viewer that these kids should not be geographically stereotyped.
Yeah.
They've got as much potential, as much intelligence, as much capacity for learning as any other kid.
Yes.
It's just that they lack the coaching, they lack the fathering, they lack the input that you're providing. How many boys, how many girls? Is there an even split, or do you have more girls than boys, or how's that work?
Yeah, now we have about 5 or 6 other Youth Unlimited staff working with me in Jane and Finch now. And one of them, Karen, is now focusing on the girls. The girls have been through my day camp and the WAVE Boys and Girls Club, and they've reached an age of high school and middle school. So she has a program called Sketch and Believe. And she is like mentoring the girls. So the only time I have contact with the girls is the youth discussion group. When they come, and we just sit down and we talk and they ask questions. So we have a whole staff member who is now dealing with the girls, so I can focus on the boys. So my program now is called Hope to Hope, A Journey to Manhood.
Journey to Manhood.
Yeah.
Now you're supported by people who care about you and care about your ministry, but you've got a great story here. This is a funeral notice: happy, smiling, always content, loved and respected wherever she went, always so thoughtful, loving and kind, a beautiful memory she left behind. And it's a woman by the name of Verna. Tell us about this woman. Yeah,
Verna Bailey, she has been one of my encouragers. She supported me right from 2005, $25 a month. 2006, say, Benjamin, I'm making it $30 a month. Some months he will write me a letter, oh, I forgot last month, so I am adding it to this month's support. So that continued, and she will continue to encourage me, praying with me to continue the ministry. Then in August, I saw $3,000 in my account from Youth Unlimited, from the estate of Verna Bailey's. So I wrote them back and said, what has happened with Verna? Because I tried to go and visit her at Newmarket, and they said, she will tell me, I don't want you to come when my nurse is here. So she postponed my visitation on 3 occasions, and I stopped. Not knowing she passed away abruptly in March, and she made in her will a provision for me to receive $3,000.
Wow.
And I calculated $30 a month. It's almost 10 years of her support before she passed on.
Wow.
And that has really touched me.
Yeah, really.
I asked her trustees, and they said she had no child of her own. But she invested all her time and energy and money to advance.
In you and these kids that you're touching. And you know, that's the kind of loyal support that any ministry just absolutely must have. Thank God for the large gifts, but it's those faithful monthly donors who make all the difference. We've got some pictures, and after the pictures I want to meet your family. Just tell me what we're looking at here, Benjamin.
Yeah, in February we became Canadian citizens.
Oh, look at that.
That was the story at the end. That is Floyd Babcock, the immigration judge, who happens to be a board member of Youth Unlimited, Toronto Youth for Christ. So he's a person we knew before.
Wow.
And he highlighted, so that we were sitting, waiting for the ceremony.
You're looking very elegant there in your Ghanaian finery. That's one of your sons who we'll meet in a minute. And is this one of your hoops? Or
this is some children from the Seeds of Hope Summer Day Camp.
Wow.
Yeah. We are very happy to be there during the summer.
Seeds of Hope Summer Day Camp.
Yeah.
What a huge impact this is having. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. I dress like him.
You look like a policeman there.
Yeah.
And who is this?
Yeah, in the summer, there's some company called GMP Securities. They send limousines to get the youth from Jane and Finch to go and open the stock market. Then after that, that's a GMP Securities.
You're kidding. They come in limos to pick up the kids?
Yeah, to pick up the case. And I go with them, and we go and eat at Fairmont Royal York Hotel. From there, we go and open the stock market.
No kidding. So you're there clapping while the market opens?
Yeah.
You're your family. Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. I want to meet all of you here. You've got 3 wonderful kids and a beautiful wife. Introduce them to me, Benjamin.
Yeah, my left is my son Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew is 15 now, and Alice.
Alice.
Alice is 10.
Right.
And Samuel is 4. Samuel was wasn't here. He was born in 2006.
Hi, Sam. And
Yeah,
your wife's
Monica.
name is?
Monica.
Monica, pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Monica, question. What was it like being in Ghana while your husband was here in Canada for 5 years? I mean, that had to be really tough on you.
Yeah, it was hard. Very hard.
Did you have fairly regular contact with him?
Yeah.
Now, was this before the days of Skyping and texting and interneting and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, that must have been a huge, huge challenge for you. And your 4-year-old's name again is?
Samuel.
Samuel. Samuel, how are you? How are you? Are you fine? You know, in the green room, this kid was bouncing off the walls. Put him on camera, and suddenly he's all subdued. And Alice?
Yeah,
Alice, what grade are you in school?
I'm in grade 5.
Grade 5. And do you live in the Jane and Finch area, or do you live somewhere else?
I live,
In Jane and Finch.
yeah,
You live in Jane and Finch area. And do the kids in your school know who your dad is?
some of them.
Some of them, yeah. And first name again?
Andrew.
Andrew. Andrew, a very good name. What about you, Andrew? Do some of your friends know your dad?
Yeah, most of them, a lot of them do, from my school.
And what's it like for you having a dad like this, when so many young guys in school don't have a father?
Oh, they're like, oh, how you look like your dad, and sometimes they call me Benjamin, but I'm like,
Well, you do look like your dad.
yeah.
But you're a blessed kid to have your father not only at home with you, but a guy like this who has such wisdom and such a heart for other people. Do you ever join him in the work he does?
Just go to some of his programs, like the Street Talk program, and I help him at the summer camp this summer, yeah. But yes, this summer camp.
Now, how's it feel for you all to be Canadians now? I mean, this must, we saw the picture here, it must have been a pretty special event, huh?
Yeah, it was so
it was very-
special.
Did you ever
for us.
think one day as you were there in Ghana and your husband was here in Canada that you'd not only be here, but you'd be a Canadian citizen?
Yeah, I never thought of it, but by the grace of God.
The grace of God, isn't that true? Boy, you know, that's something I hear in Africa a lot, the grace of God.
Yeah.
So, in terms of your work, very, very demanding. With all these programs you're running, you must have like 3 full-time jobs almost.
Yeah.
Do you prioritize time with your family? And how do you focus on them and let them know they're number one in your life?
Yeah, they are home. Or I give them time. That we cannot be like the other people. We have to have structure in our life. Like him, I tell him the time you have to have a time that you leave to go to school,
Yeah.
and a time that I expect you home.
Right.
So when you come and you want to go somewhere, I just need to know. Yeah, I just need to know. And then we take some time. Last year we couldn't go anywhere because I went for the You for Christ conference. But every year we take time off and we go. We went to Ottawa for the Canada Day celebration,
Right.
and we've been to Nova Scotia. To go and visit family. So I've been to Fairhavens. Yeah, during the summer we just take a short vacation and we go somewhere to relax and come back.
So tell me, during the World Cup, Andrew, during the World Cup, were you cheering for Ghana?
Yeah, absolutely.
So was I. I mean, they were the best African team, weren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that they might have gone all the way. I think they got robbed. You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the referees make some very questionable calls.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you all here as a family, and what a powerful example you are.
Yeah.
To not only new immigrants but refugees right across the nation. Your work is exemplary, and we're really proud of you.
Thank you.
And we wish you all as a family a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
Same
our
to you.
way.